What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about what's going on with the overall market, what's going on with SPY, Tesla, and the QQQ, and some important levels to look out for. I'm going to break down what the news is saying in the pre-market, how Tesla is doing, and what you should be watching for given these technicals. Before I break anything down about all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of very important things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take none of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. And finally, don't forget about the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. Put in $100 into the account, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks, plus a $100 cash reward and other benefits. The offer ends in just a couple of weeks. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So I'm going to talk about SPY, Tesla, QQQ, Nvda, and a couple of others. But let's first talk about the news. All of this news is circulating on CNN, AP News, the Wall Street Journal, and etc. These articles are declaring that the S&P 500 is in a bull market, and people are just getting excited over this. Now, do I consider this good news? I mean, it really depends on your interpretation of whether or not this would be good, because this was declared by many others before, and the market is higher since. However, that does not guarantee anything until we break certain levels. However, like I said before on this channel, I don't care if it's a bull market, a bear market, a kangaroo market, a koala market, a mouse market. I don't even care at this point. What matters is what levels are we breaking? Are we about to see a bigger push? And how should we be looking at this going forward? But for now, I do want to note that this is going to help sentiment. Sentiment's going to be a lot more positive than before. And we could see some more FOMO buyers come in because of news like this. It's just what I'm saying. I'm not guaranteeing we're going to just squeeze to crazy levels. I'm just saying it's worth noting. And then on top of this, let me just note that we have some agricultural data coming out at 12 o'clock p.m., supply and demand for the report. But let me just note that this is just the calm before the storm. Yes, there's not too much data coming out today, but once we start next week, we have consumer inflationary expectations, we have CPI, we have FOMC, then we have OPEX for Friday. The entire week next week is going to be huge and crazy and very, very volatile. So please be ready for that. Let me also add that in the pre-market, we have another stock that's up pretty big. It was running since yesterday. That's Tesla. Tesla was jumping on the news involving it sharing its EV charging stations with GM, and this is going to be very bullish for Tesla moving forward. Tesla's up pretty big. This is going to help the markets, but we have to break down particular levels of confirmation first for us to truly see a big push. Now, when you zoom out of the charts, many people are saying that this is looking like a bull flag. You could argue that when you zoom out all the way, but I don't really care too much about that until we get the true confirmation, because what matters so much more would be levels, right? We have to see this thing break and hold 430 for this thing to continue pushing hard. And for now, we have been getting stopped by it. So we have to watch that very carefully. Now, let me explain. So we have resistance between 429 and 430. If we break 429, which we're holding so far, because we are up in the pre-market and the market's continuing to look very strong, but we need to see confirmation first. We're going to be watching 429.6 to 429.62. That tiny little range right there has some resistance, and we're currently at 429.5 almost at the time I'm recording this. If it pushes up 429.6, we have some strong resistance. Break that, we're going to be watching this thing get very close to 430 and testing 430. Now, fighting 430 is going to be tough, okay? We need to fight very hard to break it, and if it does break, we have some resistance in the 431 range. I talked about this range yesterday, 431.22 to 431.76. The entire range right there, we've seen lots of rejections between those levels. So we're going to watch that zone very, very carefully in the 431s. There's already a lot of money that could be made between here and there anyways. But even if it does end up pushing that hard, if it breaks 431, there's a little bit of resistance at 433 to 434. It's not extremely strong. 435 has some more, but where we're going to see more resistance is going to be closer to 440 after that. So we're going to be watching those levels very, very carefully. 440 has a better chance at getting there if it manages to hold above this 435 resistance. But for now, make sure we watch 430. Now, if it does end up breaking down, just hypothetically, we're going to be watching these zones right here. Right here, we have support at 429. If it breaks below that, there's 428.5, 427.79, and then 427.5, followed by the 426s. Now, for now, looking at the charts, there was a potential bull flag. Yes, it has merit, but We have to wait for confirmation. And let me also add that the market is still holding up nicely. There's no bearish cross on the 1 hour or even on the 30 minutes. It's not looking that bad. It's holding up nicely, still trying to get another cross. On the 30 minute, we got one small cross in the pre-market, but now we're about to get another cross in right before open. So it's still looking strong. It's holding up very nicely, hovering above the 50 EMA. There's no sign of weakness just yet. So the odds favor this thing trying to hold up going into today, especially because of all the puts expiring. We have over 1 million puts expiring. The odds favor it holding up and maybe trying to push for that 430, but we have to watch for confirmation first before we get a bullish move. For Tesla in the pre-market, Tesla's fighting 250, got a very nice push. I mentioned this level yesterday. If we manage to break and hold above 47.5, basically 247.5, Tesla has been holding up nicely, looks very strong, but it is fighting some strong resistance. Uh, excuse me, I would prefer if Tesla cools off just a little bit on the RSI before it continues to break to the upside, but there hasn't been much sign of weakness other than it fighting for 250. That's the only thing slowing Tesla down now. The 250 zone has this resistance. If it manages to break it, it's going to fly all the way up to 254. If it gets rejected off 250, it may cool off to 247.5, then potentially other levels. We do have an imbalance at around the 245 range, so it could come down just a little first before it tries to continue going, since it's going to be gapping up pretty hard. But if Tesla ends up breaking down and breaks below this support right here at 244.5, it has more potential to drop just a little bit as we approach the open. Now, that would be a very healthy cool off, just hypothetically, because it is gapping up pretty hard. But once again, I am still expecting buying pressure for Tesla. I don't think it's going to just come crashing down. I think it may cool off just a little bit in a fib retracement before it continues going. And make sure you watch support at the 247.5. Sorry, guys, 245.95, 244.5, 242.5, then 240. Watch all these levels. Somewhere here we might see Tesla retrace a bit, then try to bounce. And then into open, we're going to be watching 250, because let's just say Tesla comes down, it's a nice bounce, 250 comes, it could just break through this. If it breaks through it, 254, 257.65, 260 could come pretty quickly. So watch these resistance levels. For now, Tesla looks strong. There's no sign of weakness just yet. Besides it being a little overbought, to me, it looks very, very strong. It's going to continue to push. So I really like the setup, and we'll just see how this moves. Now, anyways, guys, that's what I have for the pre-market on those two. Now, just for the QQQ and a couple of others. QQQ is pushing up thanks to Tesla. If this thing holds, it's actually holding above 354. It has a good chance now at making its way up to 355.5. Or even higher than that. If it holds 356, you're going to be watching 357.5. Now, if it comes down, support is going to be at the 50 EMA at 352.46. If that breaks down, 351.51 followed by 350. Now, if we zoom out of the chart, you could see right over here, there's a nice cup and handle like formation. You have over here, you could even argue it looks like an inverse head and shoulders. It looks more like a cup and handle to me. And I'm not really seeing this. I mean, you could argue that this is looking like a flag, but that doesn't matter to me. We also have a potential bullish triangle developed right here, so it looks pretty nice. The technicals are looking more bullish. We're about to get a 30-minute crossover on the PPO that's bullish. The odds favor this thing holding up thanks to Tesla. Tesla's helping this thing pump. The odds are looking pretty good. Now, I told you guys support and resistance, so watch those levels. But let me just note that the technicals look strong, and the odds are favoring this thing holding up and maybe even trying to continue push more thanks to Tesla. Now, for anything else out there, the Nasdaq is up one. It was up 1.02%. It has more potential to push up thanks to Tesla. SPX is holding up. Aapl is up in the pre-market too, fighting the exact resistance zone I was talking about, this 180.8 zone. If it breaks this, we're going to be watching 181.2, I believe, around there. Then we have the 182.5. I think there's a good chance Apple's going to try to push for 182.5 because we're about to get a bullish cross on the 30-minute PPO on the MACD. That's once again looking strong. So Aapl looks pretty good. Nvidia's up to 390 for now. If it manages to hold that, you're going to be watching 391, 395, then 400. Once again, technicals are looking better. If it breaks down, watch the 15,200 as support. Overall, market's looking pretty decent. Amazon is cooling off still, so is Meta. They're very, very flat for now, so not much is going on with these in the pre-market, but we're about to get these bullish crosses. If the market pumps hard, Amazon could still keep going to the resistance levels I mentioned yesterday. We have like that 125.63, also 128. Meta holding up nicely. It's just a tiny bit down for now. It does have this imbalance here, so I'd be very careful with it. We're going to be watching 260 as some major support. It's currently at 263. If it breaks to the upside, we have 264 as resistance, 266, 269, and then 270. For now, I am anticipating it's going to hold up. It's not really tanking too hard. It's just dropping a little bit in the pre-market, but it's holding up nicely. All right, guys, so Tesla's up big, still holding up. Now we're seeing SPY push a little bit more. It's getting closer to that resistance, 429.6, holding up nicely, but we need confirmation first before seeing the bigger move to the upside. We're going to be watching 429.6 to 430 very carefully. All right, guys, that's what I have for your pre-market update. Please remain calm, cool, and collected. Get ready and watch these levels, and the market has a lot of potential for today. But once we get confirmations to the break to the upside, if we get them, that's going to help the market pump more, and the odds are favoring that. But once again, just watch it carefully. Thank you. I'll see you guys later, and peace out.